Good afternoon. My name is Daniel Rodriguez. I'm with Behavioral Health Solutions of South Texas. I'm the prevention coordinator for the tobacco for the program for Prevention Resource Center Region 11. Briefly, our agency deals with prevention, treatment, intervention, recovery. My program specifically deals with data collection, checking stores for tobacco permits are up to date. And so if you need any information about substance abuse, this is what our agency does in our, here. We're located in Far, Texas, but also my program, PRC 11, reaches out to 19 counties in the area of prevention, intervention, treatment, and recovery. But today we're going to talk about communications. And so I have my little friends here that are joining us, being Paco, Jose, Zulema, and Jennifer here, Jennifer's birthday, so she's here, that's why she needs to be here. So today, let's talk about communication. And also, I'll say a little bit in Spanish too, for those who are like our parents out there, and want some information in Spanish. So I broke it down in a little bit so we can understand how we communicate with our children, with our teenagers, and us adults too. So let me bring this here. So in communications, we always have a sender and a receiver. Alguien manda un mensaje, alguien recibe un mensaje, And the sender is always trying to say something to somebody, trying to get their point across, being positive or negative. And the receiver, el que va a oír el mensaje, either he's going to listen to the message or he's going to react not to listen to the message. And it just depends what approach we're doing on the receiver. So, for example, okay, please pass me the salt, Jose, And Jose might receive the message and Jose might pass me the salt back, right? And his response, sometimes we thank you, gracias, Then we have something as we know, verbal and non-verbal messages. And when we say verbal, it's what you're saying across. Verbalmente, ¿qué le estamos diciendo a alguien más para que entiendan el mensaje? Y luego tenemos our non-verbal. And those are the ones that we can do it in different ways. Most of us as parents, when we want our attention of the kids, we either can raise our voice or we try to do it body language. And when we do that body language, we can either intimidate or whoever we're trying to talk to. Sometimes it's like, me estás oyendo, And now I'm doing a verbal, but also a non-verbal to whoever I'm speaking. And a lot of us always have heard, I growing up, always heard about la mirada, that look, And so when you look at somebody, you're staring at somebody, they can take it in different ways. Either, oh, I'm in trouble when I'm staring at you, or you're going to get it, right? Or I'm trying to intimidate you with that look, or that also, I don't want to listen to you. The nonverbal. Here, Jose is trying to talk to me, and I'm ignoring Jose, like, yeah, sí, And imagine how he's going to feel, or she's going to feel, when you're trying to reach your message across. They're trying to tell you something, and you're not listening to them. Because most of the time we say that the adult is right, but sometimes we have to listen to our kids when they're trying to give us something, and that nonverbal goes a long way. Or, sometimes another example that we have used, in our culture sometimes is the, and today it means something to us, either you're paying attention to me or you're not paying attention to me. Or you're just making fun of me. And also, when we do this sometimes to somebody, You know, you can sense, the other person's over here, kind of, ooh, we're in trouble. Oh, we're not listening. So those nonverbals are very important, and it's you're the sender, and they're receiving it also. Okay, even in the verbal or nonverbal. So we have to be careful when we're talking to our kids and to adults too, because sometimes we say, are we really paying attention? Are we looking at the computer, or the tablet, or our phone? And we need to pay attention to them. And one of the best intentions, or best way to we're paying attention to our kids or to another adult is that we look at them in the eyes and we acknowledge them. And that way, when you tell a message to them, for example, I'll give you, Paco, when you're going to cross the street, I want you to look left and right. Then you can cross the street. Now, I want Paco to respond back to me. I'm going to tell him, Paco, what I told you. So he can paraphrase to me what I told him to say. I look both ways before I cross the street. So in other words, the sender, the receiver, yet he understood. Now I'm the receiver because I'm listening to him. Another thing that sometimes we forget as adults and parents, with our children, is they have to come to their level. And when I mean to their level, I mean I'm up here, he or she is down there. So sometimes we have to get on one knee and talk to them and listen to them, or look them straight in the eyes again, come to their level. Without making them feel intimidated, or they feel that they're not worth to talk to us. And so it's very important when you come to them and you say, can you tell me what happened? Why are you crying? Paco, ¿por qué estás llorando? Dime, cálmate, cálmate. Now, what I'm doing is I also keeping a space between them. Because sometimes, if we yell at them, our kid's going to listen to us. Think of that. Ven pa acá, Jennifer, ven pa acá, Jennifer. And if Jennifer doesn't want to listen to me, then Jennifer, what's going to do? Talk to the hand, mom, talk to the hand, dad, I'm going to listen to you. Because we're yelling. And the more we yell, also the kid can learn to yell too. Are we going to get our message across? Our message across to each other. So talking about messages, here's one, I and you messages. And the I, and we have to be careful how we also say the you and the I messages, okay? So it's about feelings, how we feel when we're describing something that happens to us, or we want to find out something. Sometimes it's like, I feel very disappointed that you didn't do your homework, Paco. So I'm expressing something. Now, he can explain back to me, or she can explain back by saying the you to me. Like, you are not listening to me. When I ask you, can you help me with my homework? See? But listen how I'm saying it too. Because if I come and say, I'm very disappointed that you didn't do your homework, and I'm yelling, and he's not going to listen then. So that's why it's very important how we say how we feel, and also to listen to them. Another example is, most of the time is when we go to the store, Jose, I will appreciate that we're going to buy something, but we're not going to buy candy or toys. I'm look at them, explain to them, now ask them again, do you understand what I said to you? And he should respond back. And because you want to be also clear with your messages, okay? Clear with them. Very important. Also, we have to be good listeners. In my field of social work, that's one thing we were always told, be good listeners. Tune in what they're saying to you. Listen to key words while they're talking to you. And we also be reflective on listening. So they say, because right now our kids are doing a lot of homework online, and let's use math, because some of us are good at math, some of us are not good at math. And he might be or she might be telling you, Apa, Emma, I don't understand math. I don't understand how they're dividing, or I don't understand how they're doing this. So we need to, what do you mean you don't understand? You are using a reflective way of listening to them. about math. They don't understand math. Why don't you understand about math? Is it multiplications or is it division? Ask them, so they can tell. Then they can show you also. Because a lot of us also learn by showing. So that's where we're reflecting on what they're telling us and listening to them. Be clear, again. I'm focused on being clear in your messages. I appreciate that when we're in public, you wear your mask. Today, right now, all of us wearing our masks. Be clear with them. Wash your hands when you finish eating. Wash your hands when you come from the bathroom. Wash your hands when you finish playing outside. Please. That's very important. Please, por favor, lávate las manos. Por favor, ponte la máscara. Cuando vamos a salir a las tiendas. So very important you be clear with your message. So I have an activity sometimes where you can have fun with your kids too. And it's I call it a telephone activity. So what you do is that you can get 2 cups. But I know they work better with the tin cups, old-fashioned way, and some rope, okay? And I already made one of them, but I'm just showing you some rope, make it at least 6 feet, 8 feet, just to make some fun so they can be in another room or across in the living room. And what you're going to do is that you're going to make a hole in the middle on both of them. Put the string in here, make a knot, tie it straight, and the same in the other one. And you're going to press. That's my thought here. But as long as you're tight a rope, So one of my coworkers, we have one already made, so you can have an idea. So it's stretching right here, you see? So what's going to happen, let me see, Paco, if you can here help us out, Paco. Papa likes to, he's one of our favorite volunteers here. So Paco, say something to our friend over there. What do you want to say to him? What's up, my friend? Can you hear me? And so now, Eddie's going to say something to Paco.
What's up, Paco?
Wow, right? So vibrations travel to the string. So this is one activity you can practice with your kids about communications. Just to have some fun, playing around the house. It's a very simple little activity to do, with them. Another activity that you can do about communications, with your kids is known as also the broken telephone, and you whisper in somebody's ear. Now they're sitting here in like in a semicircle. You can make a line, and just for say, I want to whisper to him. I saw a dog in HEB in his ear, right? And so Paco's going to come to Jennifer and whisper the same thing to her. And then Jennifer's going to whisper the same thing to Zulema. Then Zulema's going to try to say the same thing to Jose in his ear. Now sometimes what happens in our communication, we lose what's being said. So that's why they call it a broken telephone. And the longer the group, the longer the participants, there's more participants, somewhere along it might change what you told this person. And that when it gets to the next person, to Jose, we might ask Jose, what did Zulema told you? And he might have something very totally different when he heard from over here, from the beginning. So there's something to practice, with your kids. It's the perception they hear things. And something you have to remember about communication is that when you're talking to them, ask them to paraphrase back what they heard from you. And this is very important, even for us adults. The same thing. I have a supervisor a long time ago that will tell me, we will have a meeting, and this is an example, and she will say, after the meeting, she will send me an email. Why did we talk about the meeting? And I will email her back. And that way she knew if I understood what was going on in the meeting. And sometimes my perception of something what I was listening might not be on the same page, so we go meet again, so we could talk about it, what I heard at that moment. And in that moment, something could have happened. I got distracted, maybe I fell asleep for a while in the meeting. It really happens. None of us are perfect. So asking them what they heard, what you told them, is very important. So I have another activity, and Paco's going to help us here. I'm going to show you 3 drawings. Here's one, okay? That's going to show you a drawing. Here's another one, okay? And here's another one, all right? Now in this drawing, Paco's going to face the board. He's going to try to listen to Eddie, how Eddie wants him to do the drawing, okay? Now we're giving our back, so we don't know which one Eddie has picked, right? Right. So remember what I was talking about. It could be our perception or it's how we hear things. So are you ready, Paco? Paco's ready, he has his pen, we're gonna go. Let us know.
Okay, draw a line and then start going to the left,
We're going left,
left and down.
down,
Keep going down and slowly start turning to the right,
turn to the right,
and then start going up
up,
and start turning to the left again. Now draw a line at the bottom,
Draw a line at the bottom. Bottom where?
at the bottom of that circle,
Okay, draw a line,
and start going to the right and down and left keep going to the left and then start slowly turning up. Once you're a bit at the top, start turning to the right again and connect that. Now at the bottom of that other figure, draw another line. And stop.
so Eddie picked for us to do this one. You guys can see. So I think we did, I guess we built like a chicken there. So it's just our perception here while we're listening, how we're drawing something, you know. We only asked a question. You can always ask questions, how far, how more to the left, more to the right, because remember, facing is what we're hearing. Thank you very much, Paco, for helping us here. Aquí nos ayudó, se siente aquí. Ahora le damos un premio. So this is very important, how we perceive communication. You know, the sender and the receiver, you know. I and you messages, a very short way of letting you know how I feel about certain things. You know, I feel grateful, you praise your kids, you know, I enjoy what you did. That's very important for our children to hear. Also for our adults, you know, giving them a pat on the back and tell them, yes, you did a good job, you know. And one of the nonverbals is always go like this, yes, you know, that it looks cool, or they're all right, congratulations, you know. High fives, you know. Right now, well, okay, we're not touching, but you know, from a distance. And another thing that I'm gonna give you is how communications work to our advantage in protective factors. In our agency, we talked about recent protective factors, especially in our regional needs assessment in our program, Prevention Resource 11, does every year through our evaluator. So I took the time so staying on the positive side, for all of you. So what are protective factors, for our children? Family bonding. I know when we went shelter in place, no school, everything going online, this actually provided some family bonding for us, and it's very important that there's reliable support. And what I mean by that is that you're there for them. Crisis happens, this crisis that we are going through right now, they ask you questions, you can answer your questions to the best that you know. If you don't know the answer, the best answer to tell them, I don't know, we're going to ask somebody that knows the answer, okay? And that is reliable support also for them, because they know that you're going to look for an answer. But you're also there for them. Family bonding also provide protection for our children, our adolescents, our high school students, They know we're there for them. Like the example I said right now earlier with Paco, look both ways before you cross the street. Why? They want to ask you why, because there's cars passing by. This is a neighborhood, there's no cars passing by, but they forget about our own neighbors. Affection. Every kid loves to be hugged, kids. Every kid also likes to be told something very positive. You look great today, you're doing great, you do good in school, thank you for helping me. That's very, important for our child as they're growing. Even for adults, for us to have affection in our family bonding, also to hear, you're doing good, Eddie, that's great, thank you for helping me, Eddie. Thank you for getting the chickens back in the chicken coop, Eddie, that's very good. So that's great that we're working and we're receiving and talking to one another. But the community, what I mean by the community is that there's physical and psychological safe. We feel safe. Why? Because physically, we have police coming around helping us out. We have people that help us do certain things. Crossing the street, let's say our patrol ladies and men that help us during the school year, crossing the street, there's somebody there. Somebody falls, they pick you up, so there's always somebody there for us. This part here and the psychological, just being very supportive. You're doing good. Thank you for helping. Gracias. De nada, mande usted, they hear things. And also the opportunity of belonging. All of us like to belong. My favorite thing, because when I was younger, and my times, I grew up in the Boys and Girls Club, so it was a place to belong, to be with people there, with other kids of the same age, belonging there. And playing sports, if you were not playing sports, you were doing arts and crafts, so you feel that you belong. Another place for belonging is church, if you're not a church goer, don't worry, but you find places where you like to belong, and feel comfortable. And also when you feel a place of belonging, if it's all here, the family, the community, you feel comfortable talking to one another. You can trust. So in communications, it comes down also to trusting one another. Who can I trust? ¿A quién le tengo confianza hablar? A mi papá, a mi mamá, a mi hermano, a mi abuelita, my tios, my uncles, aunts, we always feel that trust to talk to somebody. And we always tell our kids, talk to an adult, talk to me, if anything. Even your teachers, when I remember growing up, and I still hear once in a while, ask a question. It's not a dumb question. Just ask. And we don't know the answer, we'll find the answer. So I want to thank you for listening to our little short presentation on communication. If you have any questions about our programs in substance abuse, remember we deal with prevention, intervention, treatment and recovery. My program, PRC 11, we deal with data collecting on substance abuse and mental health. So our website is www.bhsst.org, or in our program it's www.prc11.org. If you need any information about our programs, you can call our 956-787-7111, and that's our agency phone number. So I want to thank you for participating with us today. My little friends here, they came in and to help us out. Thank you very much. See you later, alligators.